Hey there everybody, welcome back to the third and final part of Appease the Unease. Today's episode will be all about how medical marijuana, specifically CBD, affects anxiety and social anxiety. Alright, so as I stated before, this video is going to be focusing around the use of CBD oil and how it affects social anxiety and anxiety, in a good way though. So, contrary to popular belief, weed doesn't only get your mind high, it gets your body high too, and that's what CBD oil is for. CBD only ever affects the body, and it gives a really strong sense of relaxation and not euphoria, but for me at least, it just kind of puts me on cloud nine. I just feel so relaxed, like I'm kind of floating around in a pool of clouds, as you will. Whereas with THC, that's gonna be what gets you mind high. And it's really important to understand the differences between those two, because as someone with social anxiety, I tend to go for the body high because with sativa and THC, that kind of puts everything on like a times 10 filter, and it gets really overwhelming, and that's when you're gonna really get anxiety and really strong senses of anxiety too. So whenever people say, oh yeah, I don't smoke weed, it gives me anxiety, most of the time they are talking about sativa. So I also just want to mention that I will be listing a few different websites about CBD, how to use CBD, just for more information for you guys if you are so curious. They'll all be available in the description. So there are various different ways we can use CBD oil. I guess the most common one is smoking it, and that's where you're going to get the indica strand. The indica strand is the body high, like we said. It's a really nice, relaxing body high, and that's again due to the CBD content. If you see the THC logo, don't fear, it's not gonna mess with your head, make you high. It's just THC is basically, it's like it's the part of the weed which will get you high, and then the CBD is like the director, if that makes sense, where it sort of directs where to go. I guess that's sort of a different analogy, whereas if it's just THC and sativa, it'll just go straight to your head, whereas the CBD will sort of direct all that highness down into your body, so you will be completely clear in the head. And like I said, smoking it is one of the most common forms, and the high normally lasts, I guess, it depends on your tolerance. I'd say it normally will last about a good few hours. We'll say an average of 3 hours for a high. And with an indica high, a CBD high, it's just, like I said, it's a really relaxing way, and you're gonna feel like everything is just good. You're gonna feel like you've found your medium. And yeah, if you're doing edibles though, always be very careful with edibles, because they will last a lot longer and they will hit a lot stronger than smoking it, because you're actually eating it. It's going to be in your digestive system for up to 8 hours, and your whole body needs to metabolize it. And with the CBD and THC content, the weed content, it metabolizes a lot slower than normal food does, so that's why the high will last a lot stronger. I will say for first timers, if you go into a dispensary and ask for indica gummies, I would say recommending probably about 5 milligrams would be the recommended start, because you don't know how your body is going to react to it and how strong it's going to become. Because the worst thing and the number one big no-no of taking edibles is taking too many at once and everything just hitting you at once, because it can come across a little scary, because it's like someone just flipping on a light switch. Everything just goes on, and that times 10 filter, just you'll have that feeling, and it's very unnerving. Believe it or not, it's happened to me a few times. I won't talk about it now, maybe in another video about weed if you guys want, maybe, who knows. But that's the big thing to be careful of. Another way is, again, smoking it, but with a dab pen or a disposable dab pen. Those are good. They will hit your throat a little bit hard, and what I mean by that is you're gonna wanna cough. It'll sort of be an itchy throat feeling. So if you are gonna be having a dab pen or disposable dab pen, always have a glass of water around you. So now to get into like the main part, why I'm talking about this. And I think I may have briefly mentioned on it before, but CBD, or indica, I'll say, it really is beneficial for anxiety and helping calm us down. And like I said, it helps with our serotonin levels. And serotonin is basically our whole happiness hormone. It affects sleeping, our diet, our overall mood, you know, all that good stuff. And yeah, our overall behavior is influenced by serotonin. And that's why when people have depression, they don't eat, they sleep so much, or they don't sleep at all. And again, as you might know, that's because their serotonin levels are quite low. With CBD, it helps regulate that serotonin level, increases it, and that works for anxiety as well. Because I guess how I would describe anxiety is sort of like, you know, you have your medium and your medium starts to wobble. It's wobbling, it's out of control, it's sort of that pulsating thing. It causes fear, it causes panic, everything is out of balance. That's how I would describe anxiety. You know, we're wobbling, but then if you introduce CBD, you know, that medium, it starts to sort of become more stable, relaxed, and straight again. And that's why I use CBD oil. I don't smoke just to get high, just because, oh yeah, I want to get high. No. I mostly smoke weed so that I can have that sense of medium. And it's also important, again, I guess this is a side comment, to regulate it. I'd say, you know, using it every weekend or every other weekend, that's fine. But I'd say try to use other strategies that you have learned, you know, the ones I've talked about in this video, such as mediated breathing, listening to music, all sorts of that stuff first before resorting to CBD oil use. Because the one thing that I don't want you guys to do is to end up being addicted. Although weed, it's not really that addictive, at least in my opinion. I can understand the appeal of it because when I've smoked an indica joint and I've had that really good sense of a body high, I don't know, I just go, oh my god, this is so good. And I can understand why people do this more often. But I just want to urge to you guys to use it, but use that at your own caution as well. I'd say when you start to rely on it more often, you think, oh my god, I'm feeling anxiety, gotta take a hit. That's when you should know that maybe like you should put the joint down and just, you know, mind over body. Breathe it, do some breathing, listen to music, and sort of use other strategies before resorting back to the weed. You know what I mean? I hope you do. But yeah. And here's your final fact of the video for all you sciencey folks out there. So this is specifically what CBD does with the brain. So CBD interacts with the cannabinoid type 1 receptor, CB1R, the serotonin 5-HT1A receptor, and other receptors in the brain that regulate fear and anxiety-induced behaviors. So you know how I was doing the graph thing? So this is the anxiety, CBD is going to come in, and everything's just going to get regulated. And it actually is used for medical purposes as well to treat generalized anxiety disorders, stress disorders, panic disorders, compulsive disorders, depression, and social anxiety as well, obviously. So there is a lot of evidence and research pushing the use of CBD oil usage, why do I keep saying CBD usage among people who do struggle with those types of behavioral disorders. Mental as well, behavioral disorders. Alrighty, so that is going to be the end of the video. I just want to say thank you so much for watching, and for those of you who watched all 3 parts, thank you for watching this series. This is actually for a school project I'm doing, and I definitely feel like I've learned a lot through this as well. I really enjoyed making these videos. I know I tend to go and ramble quite a bit, but I really enjoyed making these videos, and I really hope you've enjoyed them too. Maybe if you subscribe to the channel, there can be some other videos in the future, if you're lucky, or if I feel motivated at least. But yeah, I really do hope you all learned something, you know, new tips, new tricks, new activities, hopefully. Yeah, I hope you have a good morning, afternoon, or day, or whatever time you're watching this video. I hope you're doing good, and I'm here rooting for you because we all got this. We're all in this together. And if you want to go smoke a joint after this video, you go smoke a joint. Only if it's legal though, because we do not support illegal activities. Because we are legal queens. Maybe I should make that a hashtag on Twitter. Or X now. #legalqueens. That was so stupid. Alright. All right, peace guys.